Okay, so tonight, guys, I actually have a video that you may or may not have been waiting for. It's kind of a precursor to a couple other things we got going on, but today, finally, the Predator LZ Firm Ground Edition, obviously in the bright blue, red and white infrared colorway. I wanted to show you the lead colorway. I'm sure you've already seen it a million times, so I'll make it a little bit brief, but I'm not going to prattle on about all the marketing points that Adidas wants me to tell you about, because that's not how we do things. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you that the lethal zones are the coolest thing of all time and they're going to make you way better, and I don't know. The idea of lethal zones in the first place is a little funny, but you know how Preds work. You know, they've all got the little rubber applique on the instep, but now they've kind of expanded out a little bit and giving you 5 different zones of cushioning and blah blah blah. So instep, I don't know how you call it 5 zones. Instep, forefoot, frankly, yeah, okay. And then right on the toe, and then a pass pad, and I don't know. I guess I'm getting a little fed up with some of the like marketing ploy type stuff. But these shoes, more than anything, they do have definitely some good features. Obviously they are my coach capable. Speaking of gimmicks, it's really not a bad gimmick though. To be honest, it's definitely interesting. It definitely keeps you engaged as a as a player and as somebody who trains on a regular basis. It just kind of keeps it interesting for you. The sock liners are nothing to write home about. They are not particularly impressive. It's kind of typical, lightweight offering from Adidas that we're all kind of used to at this point. Got a little bit of the adidas foam on the underside of the shoe. Of the sock liner here, and it's pre-molded and contoured and all that good stuff. So you guys already kind of know everything about that, and you got there, master the ball. Yeah, the thing about mastering the ball is that this shoe, no more or less than any other shoe, provides you with that opportunity. But let's get to some good stuff about it. The upper, the material on here is a new material, and by new I don't really mean new, because obviously Nike has kind of already, blazed a trail as far as this technology goes. The technology being, the semi-synthetic, what Adidas calls this, it's LS, which is a really, really dynamic name. It's leather / synthetic, so L-S. They really thought outside the box on that one. And it is actually a really nice material. It's really comfortable. Doesn't take on as much water as leather, blah, blah, blah. You guys know all about the semi-synthetic. So it is technically a full synthetic, but it really does have some of the same properties as a good high-quality leather. So it is tough. The upper is really tough. It definitely takes some punishment, unlike the last Predator. That's a real bonus. The Audi Powers, as you guys know, they tended to wear out pretty quick, so that wasn't necessarily the best thing ever as far as Predators go, but these ones do a really good job, taking some punishment. The only complaints you're going to find as far as durability, we get a nice close zoom right in here, you're going to see that the glue right on this upper, mostly at seam points, obviously, as usual, the glue on this upper is really quite fragile, and by glue I mean it's obviously an industrial grade epoxy, but nevertheless that stuff is you're gonna find that just with any other high grade boot, that epoxy is gonna wear off quicker than just about anything else associated with the upper. Triangular studs again. It's got the very similar to the SL versions of the last Preds that were launched. Which is, to be truthful, and it's what they call the Traction 2.0 outsole. Triangular studs, basically for tearing turf. It tears artificial and natural turf, so definitely a real bonus there. They do play well on turf, which is just awesome, because as you guys know, a lot of the bladed studs that Adidas has been releasing lately has not played particularly well on turf, so this is a nice addition here. But yeah, other than that, not too much else to tell. They really are a comfortable boot. They fit well for I would go as far as wide-ish feet. If you have really wide feet, these are not the boots for you. You'll notice that the heel itself, when you're just eyeballing it kind of straight on, the heel itself is actually really, really narrow. It definitely has a pretty good squeeze right in here. So if you're somebody who suffers from heel pain as a result of plantar fasciitis or anything like that, this is not a boot for you. It's going to squeeze that heel way too tight, and it is going to hurt you. Don't go with this one if you're suffering from any sort of heel problems. However, if you do have like a super wide midfoot, also a reason to stay away. The forefoot's pretty wide. If you have a high arch, this really isn't necessarily a particularly great boot for you, so maybe one to avoid. But yeah, apart from that, comfortable upper for average to from anywhere from wideish to narrow feet. Narrow feet do really well in this boot, despite the fact that the forefoot looks kind of blobby. And you'll see the toe box is really quite well contoured. It's definitely an awesome toe box. With a true fit, you're going to find that it tapers really nicely to your toes, even if you have a longer second toe, which is, you know, obviously a common thing. The longer second toe isn't a problem in this boot either. It's not really a problem in the Evo Speeds either. So, two boots to check out if you tend to find that your big toe isn't the problem toe. It's your second one. So, but yeah, other than that. It is, like I said, it's a comfortable boot, it's lightweight, it is tougher than its predecessor, all good things. And this rubber applique, you know, do with it what you will. Honestly, it's not doing a whole hell of a lot for your game, I promise. But it is, you know, a lot of people, a lot of Predator wearers from years past have sworn by the Predator applique, so obviously this is not one to get away from as a result of that. So, but yeah, they are up all over the place. You can check them out on We Got Soccer. Also, don't forget to check out the blog. We're going to have stills up there by this evening. The stills will basically give you kind of a really up-close, in-depth look at all of basically every aspect of the shoe. So you can certainly take a look at those if you want. That's onsidereviews.com. And yeah, other than that, thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments. You can also leave them on the blog. We check them all the time now. We have answers for you just, you know, like 5 times a day. So definitely hit us up. Thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned. We're going to have a comparison video between these and the Evo Speeds very shortly. So thanks a lot, guys.